Okay, good morning everybody. I'm going to attempt that flight I did yesterday again. That's Ljubijana to Venice. Now I was going to try and fly a different route into Venice, but it got stuck on the same route as before. Cars and things like that aren't material in this flight sim. You don't get penalised for crashing into them when they're where they shouldn't be. So we're taking off in a different direction from Ljubijana today. We're taking off to the south east slightly. Runway 12. Yesterday I think we took off from the other runway. And I can't do reciprocals in my head, so I can't remember what that was. So the only thing we haven't got at the moment, let's just slow down a little bit without analog brakes. We'll go on to ATIS and see what the current QNH is.
Clouds at 2,500 feet, ceiling 6,500 feet overcast. Temperature 25.
25 degrees in Ljubijana just now. I've got a horrible feeling I'm not on live. I'm live, that's fine. QNH 30.03. I have no idea why it gives me in that format. I've got things set to metric. I've tried setting it to hybrid. It really makes no difference. Sometimes I get metric barometers like 1012 or something like that, and sometimes I get it as 3003 like today. It's not different at different airport. I mean, it's not doesn't change in the same airport. That's the way I should say it. It's always the same. Okay, so we're ready to go. Oh, hi, domestic man. Good morning to you. Yeah, my day's going great. Just had some dinner, just setting off for a quick flight. So we've got our barometer set. We're going to be moving on a bit now. Taking off in a couple of minutes. Now, domestic man, for your information, I've turned the cockpit sound down quite low, because if I go to external view, the sound is incredibly loud. I've seen somebody flying the PMDG. I've decided to stick to one airplane, the A320, for various reasons. One of them's money. Obviously the PMDG isn't free. I fly this one and I fly the fly-by-wire A320 Neo. The fly-by-wire isn't quite as realistic as the Fenix one. That's what I found, but they're both brilliant aircraft. I haven't tried the PMDG. I have, like I say, I have seen it's been released. I saw A1 pilot, I can't remember his name, flying it the other night, and he was quite enthusiastic about it. See, I'd rather specialise and learn what I can about one aircraft. The other thing is, yeah, what do you mean by the flight model? I can't type in the text, by the way. I've got hands doing stuff all over the place here. Yeah, I'm talking about the PMDG 737 for the for Microsoft Flight Sim. Is that the same one you're talking about? I assume it is. I used to be really active live on YouTube, and I went off for a couple of years doing other things. And recently they've taken away my ability to put adverts in, which isn't very nice of them. Oh, you mean that? I think it's sad when things like that happen. Come on, move. Takes a bit of getting going, the A320, but see, once it's rolling, you put the power back down to idle, and it just rolls. I'm one of those rare people, domestic man, that has real paid-for software on this computer. I don't have anything that's not, I'm going to say, not legit isn't the right word, but I like the idea that somebody's put a huge amount of effort into something and they get paid for it. The thing about, for example, the fly-by-wire A320 Neo, which is free. I'm amazed that's free. That is such a powerful model. Okay, so we're on the right runway. We've got takeoff permission, so here we go. Speed up to half. Hear the engines going in a second. Up to flex. Putting some nose down on the joystick. Are you asking if this A320 will let me do tricks? You should have seen my landing yesterday. That was a trick. That was something out of the joke books. I can't see my speed. I'm okay. I know that my VR was really quite high. There we go. Up and away. Gear up. Checking the gears up. My trip yesterday was unfortunately shortened very briefly by the fact that I had to go and do something not long before I got towards the right, so we've got an autopilot on. I can talk now. Okay, I haven't flown this in real life, but I've got a friend who works in a simulator, and it's not a moving simulator, if you understand what I mean. The simulators, why are my flaps not retracting? Something's not right. A lock. Don't know what it is, but my flaps haven't gone to 0. Yeah, so, but it's 360 degree. That's the outer marker. The 360 degree simulator. Oh, we've got our flaps off now. Better turn our strobe on. That's something I always forget. And it's full high fidelity, real size controls. So it's as if you're actually flying. Yeah, it's a stationary simulator. That's the best way to describe it. But let me tell you, it is so easy to forget that it's a stationary simulator. You can be turning a corner, or you're turning slightly, and you've got a 30-degree bank on or a 20-degree bank, and then my granddaughter came with me the last time I went there, and she called me from behind, and I turned around, and it looked like she was standing at 30 degrees to the floor. It was so weird. It was my brain had worked out that I was sitting at a weird angle, and had compensated for it to make it right. And then when I looked behind me, suddenly it looked like she was the one that was at an angle, not me. It was so weird. But the beauty of that simulator is that all the controls are real A320 controls. So everything I've learned on this flight sim on the A320, because before that I hadn't touched the A320. I'd been entirely on the 737 simulator they've got there. But I told the guy who was taking me for the flight that, I can start the A320 from cold and dark, and I can do this. And he was saying, yeah, right, okay. So he set it cold and dark, and within 10 minutes we were up and away. He was quite surprised the first time, but I've been there quite a few times now. And we set each other tasks. Last time he set both my engines on fire. One after the other. It wasn't one event to deal with, it was two events. So I'm on cruise. Right, stand by for noise. What I'm going to do is turn the audio down, because when you're outside the sound is horrendous. Lots of people have asked Fenix to fix that. Do you like my livery? This was done for me by somebody, and I think it's brilliant. This screamy face I've had as my avatar for absolutely years and years now. So, lovely mountains over there. Never been to Ljubijana, never been to Venice yet. Maybe one day we'll get there. So we're still climbing. Looking to see if I can see any other aircraft. And oh, there's one over there. Go back to the cockpit for a bit. We're going to the cabin. You can see what my my good friend has done to the seats. My little logo on the back, on the headrest of each seat. He's done an amazing job. Honestly, I'm so impressed. And he's so fastidious about his work. I'll just show you briefly that I haven't downloaded the new model yet. I just noticed the email this morning. But if you see here, the G gets dissected by the window slightly. So he's changed the font size so that the G is now clear. Love it. So I had a special email address for Nightmare Lines. And it's just nightmarelines@gmail.com. So let's have a quick look at the map and see where we're at. Now this map doesn't necessarily reflect our actual position. This plane is the Airbus A320. Wow. Yeah, Airbus A320. This one. So that flight 93. I'm not sure when that was. So these are the waypoints that are clicked in. Now I've put custom waypoints here because I wanted to fly along the coast and fly over Venice itself. Whether that's actually the flight plan that the plane takes, I don't know. There's that other plane behind us, look. Not very far away. So about a quarter of the way there. The scenery is phenomenal. I've actually got the scenery running on the highest resolution. Right, okay, I understand now. Yeah, that was a brave thing those guys did on that airplane. I was actually at my friend's house in Sweden on that day, and the news came on, and obviously no one caught the first airplane hitting, but we actually watched the second one because the news crews were all over it by then, and we thought we couldn't put our heads around it. We couldn't understand what was actually happening. It was so Steven Spielberg type, Star Warsy type stuff, and it still brings a lump to my throat now when I think about it. When I think about the personal issues, I mean, I'm hoping that most of the people that were on the planes that hit the two buildings and the Pentagon didn't know what was happening. But I know that the guys in Flight 93 did know what was going to happen, and they took one of the most incredible actions you can imagine. So anyway, listen, that's making my back of my neck tingle. Don't really want to talk about that. So we're heading out to the bit of ocean. Somebody might be able to tell me, is this still the Mediterranean? I thought about this yesterday. So we've got Italy here, the big boot of Italy. This is the Med. Is this still the Mediterranean round here? I'm a bit not sure about that. We're about halfway there now. Luckily we haven't been told to go up much higher. Yesterday I was told to go up to 36,000 feet, which if I'd done that I wouldn't have actually had time to get down to land. So I sort of ignored that, and about 10 seconds, 30 seconds after that instruction, I was given another instruction to stay at 220, which was fine. Once we get to a landing, I'm going to do take it manually, I think. Yesterday's one was fun. I got halfway down the runway, and there's absolutely no doubt I should have gone round. No question at all. However, my wife was stood beside me. We were supposed to be going out for supper. And she was literally tapping her foot saying, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So I just had to really dump it on the ground. Over here, I think, is where... Oh, Deeves, my man. How are you doing? I was talking with Dex the other day, and he said that you were on and we should get together, and I thought that would be a brilliant idea. I've tried giving you calls on Skype a few times. I don't know if you don't use Skype anymore. So anyway, how are you doing, mate?
124.85. Renault 5 November Oscar 05. The Rev Center, NOS 5 November Oscar 05. Flight level 200.
Oh, you're talking to Dexter's too at the moment. Yeah, great. Oh, by the way, congratulations are on the way, I hear. Or, no, congratulations are correct for right now. Well done. It's going to be lots of staying awake all night, but you're quite good at that. All right, you've changed it then. No, you haven't. That's the same one I've got. I don't understand. Anyway, when I finish this, I'll have a chat with you. Okay, I'll call you on Skype. When's it due, mate? I mean, let's face it, you've been managing with no sleep for ages, staying up 24 hours a day doing live streams and stuff like that. You'll be fine. You'd better be, anyway. Next month, oh my goodness. So the scenery is starting to get interesting down there. I'll pop the external camera on again. So this is the coast. I think Venice is around here. So our plan is to fly along that way and then double back. I've been flying this since the first time the first Microsoft Flight Simulator came out. Nightmare Airlines. I was going to call it NOS Airlines, but that was a bit lame. I wanted it to be using all the bits that I had, so NOS Nightmare Lines seem to be quite good. I'll show you the inside of the plane. The guy who did the livery for me, he's done an absolutely fantastic job. He set up the external livery, and a couple of things I wanted inside is the inside of the plane, but if you look at the headrests, I've got my little symbol on them all, and you can sit down and look out the windows and stuff. It's all the same sort of thing. No first class in this one. Grunge trunk. truck. Yeah, I'm a bit about 4 hours, 5 hours east of GMT. Obviously, I'm not native to that area, but that's where I am right now. So, let's see where we are on the flight plan. The flight plan will tell us where we are and what our flight level should be. So right now, we're here. The white one is the one that we're at.
124.925 knots 5 November Oscar Sierra 5.
And we should be at 220
Knots 5 November Oscar Sierra 5 flight level 200.
until we get to this PZ 704, and we can start reducing height. What I did yesterday, which I think was quite useful, was start reducing height earlier. I asked for a cruise altitude decrease because I really didn't want to get into struggling to do tight turns. Well, this is a mess. Look at this. I'm gonna have to delete a couple of waypoints here. So we're coming in. I want to go straight from Rotar to Otgig. No, I don't. It's this part that's wrong, isn't it? Otgig, and then it does a sweep, and then it comes in. So this KIZAF FF04R, I want to join that gap and get rid of this loop. It's not hard to do. So it's KIZAF KIZAF to FF04R. Looks like a different flight plan, that one, doesn't it? Oh, there it is. So KIZAF, double check this. There's KIZAF and there's FF04R. So I want to make KIZAF and then I want to make it FF0, or is it FFO? I think it's 04R. Enter that. That should have tidied that little mess up. Yeah, there it is. Look, that's nice and simple now. Don't know why the I don't know why it came up with that idiot flight plan, but it did. So a Cardo, which is there, we should be down to 10,000, I think. So we do need to start dropping. We should already be dropped to 1500, so I'm going to request an altitude decrease by 5,000.
Milan Center, knots 5 November Oscar Sierra 5. Request 15,000 feet.
Don't think they're talking to me. Right, this is all me. So I have a feeling that I'm not hearing air traffic control. So I'm going to go down to 15,000 just now. This is the control that lets me get the speed to drop really quickly. It's the vertical speed. So I haven't heard anything from Milan Centre. Possibly just out of range. So I'm just going to have to take this on my own merits now. Oh, we've got an answer at last. Might as well keep it at 15,000. I'm going to have to drop it again very quickly. We also don't want to overspeed or get much faster. There we go. So we've got to there, probably to get down to 3,000 feet. Brilliant. So that's K1ZAF. If that's on here, I'm going to put a hold on there. K1ZAF. And hold enable. So what this is going to do, it's just going to let me circle around a bit until I've got the height down. So I'm going to come in here. Instead of turning right to go down to the airport, I'm actually going to just go round in a loop. That's going to give me time to dump some altitude. So there's our little delay loop, and as soon as I want to come out of there, I just have to delete it, and then it'll come around here, and then it'll take the actual approach into Venice. So if we have a look outside now, we should see some pretty good views. These are the Venice Islands, you know, where all the waterways are. Hopefully we're going to fly over them. I don't know the geography of Venice very well, but if anybody wants to tell me what's what, I don't mind. That'd be good. So Venice Oldie Town is an island, and the airport that we're going to is about here somewhere. Can't see it just yet. Oh, that's the airport there. That's how close we are. There's our airport. So we're actually flying over the airport now. But we're still losing height, which we need to. Flying over Venice. Just trying to get the angle right so we can see better. I don't know any landmarks to look out for on Venice, by the way, so... Come back inside again. It's really noisy out there. So how are we doing? We are now down to 6,000 feet. We're on that loop of the hold. What we really need now is Venice's QNH. So we're going to try and slow down once we get to 3,000 feet. I'm going to let the plane slow down, lose some energy. We may well be okay to lose the hold on the next waypoint, the next turnaround. I can never remember which one's the hold. Is it that one that says it's a hold or the white one? Must be the white one, eh? Because that's the one we're flying. FF04R. I'm just talking to myself for a second. Lots of concentration needed. Select heading track first. Ah, that's how we exit there. Exit hold. So now we're going to come out of the hold. We're going to come around to there and we're going to come down. So what we need to do is start getting our gear down and get some flaps on. Landing configuration requires full flaps and obviously gear. We need the air brakes armed. We need to tell the people to get back in their seats. So when we get to K1ZAF, we're going to start heading east. So if I set the speed back to managed, that's with the circle at the end, the computer will decide what speed to go at. Given that we're on flaps 2, I'm going to go to flaps 3 next. So we've got our gear down. We should pick up the intercept the ILS fairly soon. So that's us at full flaps. Is everything set up for landing? We've got flaps, gear down, auto braking to medium. So we're nice and slow. We're at a decent height. We're about to turn onto to intercept the runway. I think we're all clear. Everything's going good. There might be a little wobble when we get around this corner because it's a sharp corner. There might be a little bit of fixing to get it done. How we are, everything else. Tons of fuel left, no problem. So we're coming up to that turn. Lovely mountains in the distance. When we do the turn, which is now, when we come out of it, the airport should be directly ahead of us and not terribly far away. So this is quite a sharp 90-degree or more turn. That's the runway. I think that's the runway there, actually. Yeah, that'll be the runway there. So as you can see, we're not perfectly lined up, but we'll get back on track. Now we've got the one of the ILS markers on. I'm going to do this landing fully automatic. I'm going to go into approach mode, which takes over control of speed and altitude and such like. Turn on the other autopilot, so this is going to be a Cat 3 dual approach and landing, which is effectively an automatic landing. I don't have to do very much at all. This is what I did wrong yesterday. I was talking and I had somebody nagging, and my runway approach was high. If I'd had time, I'd have gone around, but I didn't. But we landed. Nobody was hurt, just a bit of pride. So let's have a look out the windows while we're here. The scenery is quite fabulous on this version of Flight Sim. That looks industrial to me. Is that the... I don't know what that is. I wish I knew Venice. That's all I can say. There's a runway. I'm going to go back into pilot's view.
2,500.
Now I can zoom in and we'll see a couple of things. There's a flashing light there which tells me that there's an airplane waiting to join the runway. But there are two runways, but they usually use that one. You should be able to just see the PAPI lights. There's two red and two white, which means we're on the right glide slope. If we have a look at here, you'll see that we're nicely lined up. Bonjour, Choco Shock. Well, it's a fantastic view of Venice on the right there. Seeing as we're in autopilot, I'll have a quick look. could pop you in as a right forward cabin. Nope, that's no good. Right aft might be better. You see the Venice going over the wing, under the wing. Gets a bit busy now. If I was hand landing,
1000.
right now I wouldn't be talking. You have to concentrate really hard. But seeing as we're doing an automatic landing, my only job is, once we hit the runway, touch down gently on the runway, not hit the runway, is to keep the plane straight down the middle using the steering tiller, apply the reverse thrust and apply the brakes. And try not to overheat the brakes too much, 'cause there's no rush. We can land easily on this runway. These are the PAPI lights here. You see there's 2 white, 2 red.
500.
They say that if you see all white lights, you're too high. If you see 2 white and 2 red, you're fine. If you see 4 green lights, you're going through the trees at the end of the runway. It's a little pilot joke. Right, I've got my hand on the controllers, I've got my hand on the joystick, I've got my hand on the throttles.
100.
Now, the plane's doing this itself.
50, 40.
It's saying land here, it'll say flare in a second, which will lift the nose up slightly.
Retard.
I managed to keep it on the runway. We'll go off here. Now, nearly always get an alarm. I haven't worked out why yet, because I'm always too busy landing when that comes up, but we can look into that. Now we need to get to ground. Once we've been given permission to... Once we've got off the runway, they'll hand us over to ground, and then we can ask for... there we go. Ground, taxi to gates.
Ground NOS 5 November Oscar Sierra 5. Request taxi to the gate. Taxi to gate 329er via taxiway Echo. Cross runway 04 left Lima. Mike NOS 5 November Oscar Sierra 5.
So we're crossing the other runway here. Don't feel very comfortable about doing that, but they told me to. So that's it. That's our flight. Just I've arrived in Venice. I'm going to do another flight later on. I'm going to do a flight from... I'm going to fly into Geneva. It's a beautiful airport. Beautiful fly into Geneva. You go over the lake. It's absolutely gorgeous. Views are brilliant. And I can go from... somewhere not too far away, so it makes it like a 40-minute flight or so. So I'll just get parked up at the gate and then we'll shut down the stream. There's no point making you sit through passengers getting off the plane, not that you can see them. I understand there's a new add-on. I just saw something about it the other day which puts passengers on the plane and you can see them disembarking and so on. That looks quite good. Might have to save up for that. I don't think it's free. Yeah, on YouTube right now I'm in a bit of a weird position because I was off for a while. My hours of viewing got reduced, so I'm not able to monetize. So in other words, I can't put adverts on my videos, which is nice for viewers, I guess. So I'm trying to get my hours up so I can become part of that monetized team. I was actually told by somebody yesterday, "Oh, you've got so many subs." I haven't got that many. You can go live and you can do adverts and things like that, and really didn't want to get into the discussion of how untrue that is. So we should have a little man at the end waving us in. So we want to go over to the right. Now we can straighten up. Oops. I do that so often. Just put the brakes on just that little bit too hard. You're scared of going too fast because you don't want to run the poor guy over and grapple with the pull the tug. Just a little bit further. That's it. We're there. Excellent. So parking brake on. Ka-chunk. Right, I'm going to go through this very quickly. Need to go to the EFB. We want ground power unit, chocks and cones, and in a minute we're going to be able to disembark. But first of all, we have to get rid of the engines. So we've got to put the ground power unit on. That's powering the aircraft. We can do those lights in a bit. Pedestal. So now if we turn our engines off, so we're powered by the external power unit. We should now be able to disembark. There we go, deboard. And you'll start to see the gate coming over, the jetway. There it comes. Now these jetways have a mind of their own. Sometimes they work perfectly and they latch on and that's it. Sometimes they'll latch on and then instantly latch off again. Now that's missed. I don't know if you can see that. That's actually missed the aeroplane completely. That's not very good, is it? I think that tug's in the way. But we've still got 162 passengers on board. So no one's got off yet. Just try toggling the jetway. Anyway, that's enough for this. This is just, nothing's going to happen now that you can see. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining in, and I'll give you a shout after lunch, Deves. Well, after dinner, say in about an hour, if that's okay with you. What time is it now? Yeah, let's say GMT 1:30 GMT. How's that? So to everybody else that was watching, thanks very much for watching.